Okay, I just want to quickly run you through some of the new features that I've added to Multiple Artboard Generator. So we now have a Rearrange Artboards button, which will bring up the native Illustrator Rearrange dialog box. And you can choose your options there and hit OK, and choose where you want to place it, and it will rearrange those artboards. The second is the Export Artboards to Individual Files button over here, which will just bring up the Export for Screens dialog built into Illustrator, but now we have it a little bit more accessible down here. And the last is a few little quality of life improvements here, a few little options that you can now use. So if we zoom in here, and I select all of these layers, you'll see I've created a Send Selection to All Artboards button. And in addition to that, if we want to just get the background, the exact dimensions of that artboard, there is a Stretch to Fit button as well. Thirdly, here at the bottom of this row, there is a Fit to Height button. So it'll uniformly scale any layer you have selected to the height of the artboard it's on. And then lastly, we have the same but in a button that scales uniformly to the artboard's width. Let's see if we have a better example here. So maybe this one down here. I'll stretch the background to fit. I'll scale this to the height of the artboard. And then maybe with the logo down here, I'll fit that to the width of this layer, drop that down, and then scale that in. All right, just a few quality of life improvements there. So fit to width, fit to height, stretch a background layer to the dimensions of the artboard, and then also the distribute to artboards button here so that you can start with your design on one artboard and then distribute those designs to all of the other artboards and have it auto scale to fit those layers, and then you can just do the minor adjustments needed at the end there. Now, in addition to this, you'll notice that we have all of these layer groups that have been created here, and that is also an additional new feature of the Multiple Artboard Generator. Is now when we create our artboards, we can also check an option to create individual layer groups per artboard. So let's say I bring in my new artboard collection in CSV format. So just as usual, it's just got the name, the width, and the height of those different potential artboards. I can drag that into the drop area here. It will load that in. And another new feature is the preview. So you can actually see a preview of that CSV file there. You can scroll through that just to make sure that everything that's supposed to be there is there. And now we have these template options. So with each of those artboards it creates, we can tell it to create a layer group per artboard. And if we want to, we can also add in a white background that we can then change the color of later. So let's say we do that. So we'll turn on add a white background and also add title text. That text layer's name will also just come from the name of the artboards in that CSV file. So let's check all three of those just so we can see what they do. And we'll click Generate Artboards. And if we zoom out, it'll have generated them all up here at the top. It will have created a white background for every one of those artboards and also automatically placed them into their layer groups. So the text layer, the content, which is where you'll put your designs, and the background layer will contain that white background. All right, but those are the new features of Multiple Artboard Generator.